Hello, and today's episode is actually in the AirBNB office here in San Francisco. So you're going to get a simultaneous tour of the office as we change scenes, and we're going to be talking about this next phase in a Polyglot's Journey series where I'm going to be switching away from Spanish, Portuguese, German and rotating around to German and Swedish, as well as my newfound studies in Mandarin Chinese. Okay, so first of all, just a very quick update on how the sort of language learning journey is going. The last week or so, I actually got very little language learning done because I was transitioning through some things that have changed in my life recently, and also I was focusing a lot on this application I've been building that I really wanted to finish so that I could resume my work on the social network for language learners that we're going to be using together. And so, moving on to the next stage, as I mentioned previously, I now think my Portuguese is better than it was previously, so I feel very content with that part of this journey. So my Portuguese was very, very rusty, and now I think it's back to where I want it to be. Spanish is also going very well, but my German really still needs a lot of work, and as we saw in all the videos so far, I just struggled to find a good balance between German and Portuguese. So what I'm going to do is what I call a language rotation. So that's when I have a list of languages, I'm focusing on 2 or 3, and I rotate around. So instead of Spanish, Portuguese, German, I'm rotating to German, Swedish, and a little bit of Mandarin Chinese, which I just started recently. I'll talk in another video about my strategy for adding new languages. So today we're going to focus more on the German and the Swedish. Okay, so just to give you also a quick update on the sort of Babbel situation. So after I had made a complaint publicly, I actually had a really nice conversation with them, and some members of their team reached out to me to try to sort of repair that relationship. So I do have to say that when I was learning Swedish, Babbel was actually one of the very best ways that I learned the basics. And so originally my plan was to go back and go through the entire Babbel course from start to finish for Swedish. And so that is actually what I have decided to do since they made such a huge effort to reach out to me and sort of take steps to rebuild that relationship. And so basically my plan is going to be first to sort of get back to where I was with German. So with German, I started from scratch and I went through about half. So I want to basically finish off the Babbel courses in German just so I can refresh all the grammar and have some consistency. And then I'm going to be diving into to German reading again. So I have my graded readers, I have a crime novel, which is like a made simpler, and then I have my first German novel, and I have my German easy German YouTube video series. So tons and tons of German content, but the first step is going to be to just finish polishing the grammar so I can dive into that native authentic content. And then in Swedish, for the foreseeable next few weeks or next month, I'll probably be doing mostly Babbel Swedish just to really dive in. Remember, because I already finished those Babbel courses in the past, it's great because it's all content that I already learned once before. So I know it's in my memory somewhere. So I'm going to make a video in Swedish for you, and my Swedish is terrible right now. Really terrible. It's so rusty. But I think you're going to see that very quickly it will come back. And I probably cannot even really get through a Swedish conversation today. But my prediction is that even in just a couple of weeks, I will be able to speak Swedish much better. And within 1 or 2 months, I think it's going to be back to where it was before. So it's going to be fun. You get to see whether my prediction is correct, but that's been my experience. So never feel too discouraged if you forget your language. If your language gets very rusty, it's never too late to get it back. And if you have good strategies, like the ones we've been talking about on this series, like the ones I talk about in my book, then it's going to be really quite an easy and enjoyable process to watch all of that language knowledge come flooding back to you. Alright, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this new format. I hope you enjoyed getting to see the AirBNB headquarters, and I'm really looking forward to this next phase in the polyglot's journey. So Swedish and German, like I said, they're two languages that I never managed to finally break through that barrier. I spoke both of them to good levels, but never really high levels. So I cannot wait to dive in and get back to my language studies. So I'll see you in the next video, and we'll also talk soon about my Mandarin studies. Cheers! My